Welcome back to the series where I hone in on one specific oil and tell you everything I know, or at least everything I can fit in a video. Today we're talking about peppermint. This is another one that I just never ever want to be without. I even keep a little bottle of it in my on-the-go oil bag. So first, before we get into talking about the essential oil, let's talk a little bit about the plant peppermint and its background. I've got my little mint plant here with me. Okay, so peppermint is originally from Europe, but today 75% of the world's supply is grown in the United States. Peppermint is one of the oldest herbs used for soothing digestion. Dr. Jean Valnut studied its effects on the liver and respiratory system. Dr. Alan Hirsch studied its effects on the part of the brain that triggers fullness after meals and noted that it may be an effective appetite suppressant. In a 2003 study, it was noted that peppermint can help with attention, performance, and focus. And a University of Kiel study found that inhaling peppermint lessened headache pain. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer before we get into talking about the essential oil. With anything I share today, I'm specifically talking about Young Living's peppermint oil. Oils just range so much in quality and purity that there is only one brand I'm comfortable vouching for. Also, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you personal medical advice. I'm just here to share what I've been learning and what I personally do. So, like I said, peppermint is grown in a lot of different countries, but much of Young Living's peppermint is grown at their farm in Utah. And it's made by steam distilling the leaves and the stems to get the essential oil. So now on to a few ways that I personally use peppermint oil. There are a lot, so this is just gonna kind of scratch the surface, but like most oils, I use it all three ways that you can use an oil: aromatically, topically, and internally. So starting with aromatically, I love to diffuse peppermint in the morning when I'm trying to wake up. I often pair it with lemon or another citrus oil, and I love to diffuse it if I'm having trouble focusing, or sometimes I'll just take it and put a drop right on my head. My favorite blend for focusing with peppermint is 1 drop of rosemary, 2 drops of peppermint, and 3 drops of orange. Lemon works very well as a substitute for orange in that little recipe. And I love to diffuse it for Christmassy smells, so I often pair it with thieves. And then, like I said, I also carry a little bottle on me for most of the day, so if I'm having a day where I'm really tired or I'm having trouble focusing or something like that, I will inhale it straight from the bottle. Okay, so on to topical use. Like I said, if I need a little help waking up or I'm trying to focus, I will often just drop a drop right on my head, or I'll use a roller that has peppermint in it to try to wake myself up. I include peppermint in a few of my DIY products, and it's in a lot of the oil infused products that I buy. So some for hair support, and also I personally put it in anything I use for sunburn relief because it has a great cooling effect. And because of that, I also include it in my muscle roller with Panaway and Copaiba. And Panaway does already have peppermint in it, but I like to add a little bit more. And I also put it in my digestion roller. Like I said, peppermint has been studied for digestive support for a long time. So I love adding it because I know it supports my body, but also I don't love the smell of digest. So the peppermint kind of helps tone that down, and then I don't feel like I'm walking around smelling weird like digest. And I also use it to soothe any kind of itchy spot. So if I have bug bites or poison ivy or something like that, I will reach for my peppermint oil. I used to use my toxic toothpaste for stuff like that, but I like to use peppermint oil or a diluted peppermint roller, much better. Okay, and internally is the last way that I use oils. Peppermint is amazing as a food flavoring. Obviously, I'm sure you've had something with peppermint in it. And this is where especially I only trust Young Living, because Young Living does have the Plus line, which is approved by Health Canada for ingestion. It is the same oil in both of these bottles. It just has to be labeled differently for government purposes, but this one is a great food flavoring. So I love adding it to brownies or other baked goods. I've used it to make into a tea before. You can add a pinch of salt to that to help it mix in if you feel the need to. And I've also been known to take a drop of it and use it to freshen my breath on the way out the door. Okay, now what about you? Do you use peppermint oil too? What's your favorite way to use it?